All right, everyone, it's Tanya Milano Snell here from in the Home Revolution, and we're doing some interviews of people that are going to be in the program helping out and providing services for conscious parents. So I'm super excited to introduce you to Stefanie Melo. Is that how you say your last name?
That is how you say it, yeah.
I never even asked you. And she's going to tell us a little bit about her unique family to start us off and introduce, just say who you are for us.
Okay. So I'm Stefanie. I am a mom of 5 and I'm married to an artist. So when we got married, we did not know that we would have 5 children. We didn't even think we could have any. So it's been a pretty fun surprise every time. We were married and lived in Wisconsin until last fall. And last summer, we decided the world is crazy and this is our time to do our RV dream that we've been dreaming about for 5 years. So we bought a used trailer and we hit the road and we hit a bump in the form of a tire and ended up derailed from our plans for 2 weeks in a hotel in Minnesota in November. And after that, instead of going across America and down the coast to come to Arizona for the winter, we just booked it across the Midwest. And after we had spent the Thanksgiving here in Arizona, we went out to California for a good 6 weeks. And then we came back to Arizona and decided to settle down, which we weren't thinking that we would do that, but that's what we did. So my kids are all about 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, or they will be by Christmas. And we homeschool. And a thing that's unique about us, besides the fact that we just hopped in an RV and drove across the country and then quickly decided to relocate in a totally different climate. We didn't really know anybody. We knew one person. Is that we also homeschool with the Montessori method, which is not the most common approach for homeschooling, but I really, really love it. And I'm trying to think what else is unique
there's
about
so much
us.
I didn't know about your story, so that is so exciting. One of our dreams is to have an RV too. That's on our bucket list as well. So I'll have to talk to you more about that at some point. And then 5 young children, that's a lot. I came from a home of 5 kids and I was the oldest, so I understand how unique that can be. And Montessori has a special place in my heart because I just love that really famous quote by Maria Montessori: "Play is the work of the child." And it just stays with me. Try to remember that in my parenting, that, playfulness. And it's a huge part of in the Home Revolution. And we'll get to more of that in a little bit, that being playful can really, really be beneficial to the family structure. So I guess that leads me into my next question. Like, we're doing the for the Holidays Summit. So, and you're creating like this home environment and family environment that supports like unity. Like, how can you do that? In all the things you just told me, was celebrating holidays part of your journey in that?
Yeah, and I would say like Christmas has always been extra special for us because our first daughter was born 6 days before Christmas. So like when she was born, there was like the lights and the tree and all of that. And so Christmas we've always made a pretty big deal of, and not as much in the like lots of toys and huge gifts and stuff like that, but more of in the traditions and how do we do Advent. I didn't grow up with Advent. That's something I kind of picked up when I studied abroad in Sweden because it's a really big part of the culture, even though it's a very largely secular culture. And so we have a lot of like little traditions around Advent. We play with them and, they change as the kids get older.
Advent, I don't know what it's like in Sweden, but I've read some books on the, I don't know how you say it. Is it Hig?
Hygge. Yeah, Hygge. I don't know how to say it
And
either.
so it
I'm not
just got
Danish.
cozy feeling, right? Like you're
Mhm.
creating around the holidays
Yes.
and how to create that with your family. Are there things you absolutely have to do to come together in
Yeah.
the Christmas?
So what we do is like on the Sundays of Advent, like that night we have is Advent fika. And fika is just like a small treat, like tea and coffee, and it's like with other people. So I mean, we keep it simple and kind of kid friendly. Like I make hot chocolate.
Mm.
I don't give my kids hot coffee before bed. Um, hot chocolate or like the mulled wine, and they even have like non-alcoholic versions of that. My kids don't like it as much. That's mostly for me. And like a chocolate or something. And we light the candle while we talk. Sometimes I like read, like a verse or a poem, or we look at a piece of art together. So it's pretty like flexible.
Yeah.
And, if we need to skip something that night, then we do. One of my dreams is that each Sunday of Advent, we like invite a family over and have it together instead of just our family, but we're not there yet.
Yeah. Little bits at a time, right?
Yes.
See what
Yeah.
comes up.
Mm-hmm.
I've dabbled in Waldorf education too, and Advent's a really big part of that
Okay.
approach. So it will be really interesting to see as the revolution unfolds, all the different family traditions and the different types of education modalities that have brought in things in different ways. So one of the big things in my family is honoring family members that are no longer with us. So I don't know if you guys have something that you do that you practice, anything like
Yeah.
that.
So we don't have anything we practice that would feel like very like sacred. My dad died when I was 7. And Hernando and I have lost all of our grandparents since we started dating 13 years ago. And so just like the storytelling and sharing stories about them, or like memories that we have with them. Some of them, I share stories about my grandma that she told me about like life on the farm. And I was very little when my dad died, so it's not that I have a ton of clear memories, but he did an amazing Donald Duck impression, which is very hard for voice actors to do. So we talk about that, even though none of us can replicate Donald Duck like my dad can.
Yeah, keeping the memories and the stories alive is really really part of my family as well, and we do it through oftentimes do it through food, like recipes.
Yeah.
Or there's certain, like Tanner's mom has passed away as well, and my daughter was 3 when that happened, so we lived with her for the first 3 years of her life, and she had like a giant Santa Claus collection, like lots of little figurines, and we've kept probably 5 to 10 of them, but there was a ton. So just having those out and talking about who they were and where they came from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I think
beautiful.
that's really important to the younger generation and figuring out like where we come from and who you're talking about. Like what does it mean to you?
Yeah, creating that emotional connection to someone they don't know or never met or don't remember meeting. I think that's very important.
Let's see, what else did I want us? Okay, so part of this summit that we're doing, Home for the Holidays, it's like a sneak peek into the home revolution. So I wanted to bring you in here because you're going to be a really integral part of the revolution, and I just want you to talk about what services you hope to provide to support conscious parenting in the program.
Yeah, so I do coaching. So what I get really excited about is helping other moms avoid like the anxiety and the depression and the overwhelm that I experienced in my first 8 years of motherhood. I was totally drowning. And so my coaching is really centered around that, like when you have a baby, they say it's a season, but maybe you're still growing your family. And so you like get out of that baby season and now you're in the pregnancy season again. And sometimes it can just feel like it's too much. So with my experience as a birth doula and as a massage therapist and like with women's reproductive health. Those are all really big parts of it. And then of course, falling in love with Montessori and seeing how that can start way before they go to preschool or primary in Montessori, before they're 3 years old, incorporating some of those things in, which really, in my experience, actually makes those transitions easier. My 2 babies that I would consider Montessori babies, I had a much easier time postpartum because I had a little bit of direction. It was nothing overwhelming. So that's a part of it. And then the other area that I really love working in is the planning. In the play personalities that I've recently discovered, I am a director. And I was like, I don't know if I play, my husband's super playful and, my kids are, different play personalities too. And realizing that like that planning and that comes from that, it's fun for me to kind of like do a little bit of that coordination and that intention, because I have this free spiritedness about me that can kind of have me being forgetful or missing details. And so I have some planners and I have a planning course, but the idea of not just having like a list of things to do that dominates you, but really creating a life that's intentional and that you really love, that's based on your values and what's important to you and your family and not someone else's. So that's kind of how I show up.
I love all that. I mean, that's why you're here. But the play, being playful and also intentional. And the other part that you said about different play personalities, and with my coaching, it's really about being non-judgmental with ourselves as parents, right? That we all have different ways we parent. So it's taken me a while to come to that and to help parents through that part of like, well, my husband plays this way, I play this way, and it can be okay to have 2 different play styles, like you said. So that's exciting to be able to provide that for the coaching program, the Revolution. There was something else you said, I can't remember now, that I was going to touch on. Intention setting. That's huge, because when you have 5 kids, right? It's a big family. So if you have intentions, it doesn't mean that you're going to have to follow through on like the exact like goal that you've set, right? So intention setting is a huge part of conscious parenting and one of the tenets in the program, because I really want us to build these epic families. So like empathetic, passionate, intentional, and conscious. So that those 4 tenets really kind of define the program. I'm glad you mentioned intention as part of your mentoring or coaching. I think I have one more question. So for the workshop for the holiday summit, did you have like interactive workshop or a Q&A that you might be providing for us that we could let everybody know about?
Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about plan for play. And so bringing in that intentionality that we were just talking about, and with some of that, the structure that can come with it, but not in a oppressive way. So what I would love to do in there is to, just share some of, some basic ideas and starting points, and then offer Q&A where you can ask me questions and I can offer feedback on that, because we want to have, it be intentional. We also want to have it be fun for everybody, because, I don't think I have that many directors in my family. And they want to play a little bit differently than I do. So asking questions about that, and I can provide a little information as well on the different play personalities.
That sounds exciting. Yeah, because for years, because I have a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old, so there's an age gap, right? One of them wants to like do some elaborate thing and the other one just wants to like color, and it's like, how can we bridge the gap, and how can we all have fun together, but also play separately if we have to. But I love that about, holiday play teams and even cookie decorating. Like, how do we plan for play, like you said? Yeah, so I will be posting all the times for these workshops. So thank you so much for providing.
Thank you.
And I think that's all the questions I had. Was there anything we missed that you wanted to say?
I think we covered everything. Yeah,
Okay.
that I was
All
thinking
right.
about.
And then we'll have contact information in the description of the video if people want to find you directly in the future. So,
Perfect.
all right, we will see you at your workshop.
See you there.
Bye.